I won't even know where to look.
Oh. What's up? I don't know what the heck happened there. Let me get Chris back in here. YouTube just decided to smack the stream down out of nowhere, I guess. But, yep, we're back. I'm back. Sorry about that. Technical difficulty. Let me get my guest back in here. Yeah, I don't know what to say to that. Let me get him back in here. Let me get my YouTube up. Sorry, guys. I don't know. I seriously don't know what happened there. Seriously, I do not know. Hopefully, y'all come back. Manage. Get to IG. Pass the numbers. Hello. Everybody said, heck with that. Heck, we got 4. Who's back? Who's back? Watching me act a fool trying to get my guest back. Oh, shit. Sorry, guys, about the technical difficulties, but I don't know exactly where that happened. If it was on YouTube's end, I don't think it was Zoom because me and him were able to just keep talking, and I got a little thing saying I had to rejoin YouTube, and when I did, it did not like my efforts. So sorry about that. Smoke and Grow Frazier ain't over. How you guys doing? Sorry about the technical difficulties, but we're getting it back up and running. Honestly, like I said, I don't know what the hell happened. I just don't know what happened. I wish I could see that winner pop through so I can announce him real quick. So, Smiley, I see you in the chat. And you're going to be my backup for looking out for the winner. I guess I can show it right here on the camera right quick. Let me go back to this email to show you who we are looking for. It is right here. You can read that. Hold on, let me let her focus. There it is. Just focus already. Well, if you can't read that, the winner, please tell them when you see them is Jimmy Crack Seeds won the contest from last night. Jimmy Crack Seeds. Please get a hold of Tribal Gardens. Welcome back. We are live again. Can't read that winner, please. Second time's the charm. Yes, Jimmy Crack Seeds won the contest. Jimmy Crack Seeds. Please get a hold of Tribal Garden. Welcome back. We are live again.
No worries.
Man, it'd be nice to live in Canada, wouldn't it? I'd like to get a free ounce in the mail.
Yeah, an ounce of. I haven't even tried some of. What was the one he had? The.
Jimmy Crack Seeds.
Oh shit!
Can you pause that?
Yep, sorry.
You should still be able to see chat. Just pause it. Sorry about that.
Got it.
Yeah. It's hard to pick up after that big interruption, huh?
I got some more water, but I didn't get a big leak.
Did you grab? Can you partake where you're at? You got anything to smoke on over there?
Yeah, hold on. I'm in the wrong. Sorry about that. Yeah, I got a little. Always got some rolls. Either that or I just use the 1E. I clean this every time though. I can't smoke out of a dirty piece of glass. So it's a lot of work, but it's worth it. It's either that or just papers. Best way.
How do you like that one hitter there? I've seen them around quite a bit. They look pretty convenient if you're just by yourself.
Exactly. Just a small one.
I can't believe right at the highlight. I was purposely kind of waiting until I seen some of the numbers like build up there. You know what I mean? For that contest before I dished it out. And just as the numbers were starting to peak out right there, she kicked out on us. That is just like so by luck right there.
Sativas, and indica for sleep, and the sativas for that euphoric slash caffeine. That sativa leaning stuff. It's tougher to grow, and most of my friends don't like to deal with sativas at all, just because it's it can be so leggy and so much taller. But that's my preference. It's funny. It's always kind of changed. I went through the evolution when I was in Boston, where dealing with a lot of the beasters. I don't know if you guys had it out in Michigan, but there was a lot of that low grade hay smelling Canadian stuff going around that was just junk. But
I do remember the beasters, but they weren't bad here. The ones that were in Michigan. Charlie's Farms brought them up in his interview. I hadn't really even heard of him since then. But when he brought him up, he was like, man, I haven't heard that name for a long time. Jeez.
Back in the day. Yeah, now it's it's definitely a prohibition really tempered out all the science and all the love for the plant. And it's only these last couple of years where people can really kind of, I just remember even 10 years ago, even just selling glass, cops come in and break all your glass, which is you're buying all artisanal glass, you're spending a fortune, cops just come in and smash it all. It's just bad stuff. Nowadays, glass blowers are making money. The art's actually really kind of blown up in all, craft cannabis scene, all the technology.
And some of the glass they're putting out there right now is just incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, just the industry is, as far as people spending money on the hobby, is huge too. These companies are making a fortune. Blurples were the start. The Blurples were, the first wave of crappy Chinese shit. People will buy anything, It's tough. I think every grower has that story of, if he wish he knew when he bought this piece of equipment, what he knows now, this is what he would have done,
Oh man, that must have been on the episode that I had to pull Sgt. Pepper's. I think it was. Yeah. I did. I actually was telling that story the other night, brother. I pulled out all like I had LEDs from like the very first ones that didn't have no driver that were like light bright, and I was like, here's the 3 waters all the way up through the Mars, all the way to like now. It was like the museum of LEDs I had over here, and yeah, each one of them was like, yeah, if I only knew now. But you know, at the time, it was what you had and what you were hoping for, anyway.
Yeah, where the technology went. Yeah, that's funny. That old light you had, that was classic. That's basic. I mean, if you look at the thing, it looks like it's been framed by a framer, you know, like a portrait framer. Um,
Them
I,
things are actually pushing some succulents right now in the other room. No shit.
yeah,
Yeah, they actually do well. They bring out a lot of the color in the succulents, and you can get them. You know, they're not a high demand, but as long as you keep them on all the time, them succulents do well, and brings out a lot of color in the succulents. The mold panels. It's kind of funny, but yeah, they're still in use somewhere through the house. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, lettuce too. Any of those low light plants. I mean, now it's a great time to be planting that kind of shit. With you know, with being cooped up. Although the food supply has been pretty good here, we have to we have to shop for food on certain days. Um, so sometimes it's tough. You know, there might not be chicken one day or whatever, but we're pretty much on lockdown here. Like not lockdown, but things have slowed down. Everything's shut down. Trying to stop it. We're still kind of on the ramping up on this end, but yeah, I think people are hunkering down here for another month.
Right. Yeah, we're not quite that bad here to where it's like certain days we can shop on. That kind of blew my mind when you said that. Wow.
Certain sides of the street you can walk on.
No shit.
You have to walk oncoming traffic.
You know, I had jokingly said like midway through the start of this, I was like, man, you know, because I was at Walmart and they had actually put down the 6 foot lines, and the lady had said something about it. I'm like, man, all right, yeah, whatever. I'm like, but what are we supposed to do in the aisles when we don't have 6 feet past each other? And it wasn't long before they threw an answer out to that. Well, now you're only going one direction, plain and simple. And that's what happened. Now there's tape on the floor. You go this way, you go that way, you go this way. Uh, how do we come back? Hopefully, we can snap right back.
Yeah, I think it's a long. It's tough. Everybody wants to get back out there and um, you you got to let this. This is a lot. I think this is a lot more. I mean, as far as I know, the emergency medicine around me is swamped. I mean, it's even worse in New York, but we got to do everything we can do to stop the spread. And I think we should open up. Airport should be last. Like, let's keep it local. We don't need this Boston stuff going to you guys or the New York stuff coming anywhere. But there are pockets that are pretty crazy right now. Around us, it's, you know, my town is 20 something dead. Um, I know.
See,
I
I
mean,
don't have
you
them
know,
kind of numbers. I'm in the middle of the country. I couldn't imagine being in the city right now. It's whole different game in the cities right now. That's for sure.
yeah, I'm lucky. I'm not that. I mean, 20-minute train ride to Boston. So, you know, we're a small end of a dead end. Nice little spot, but we
I'm actually in the forest, and I used to bitch about fucking being in the forest up here. up until this, and I was like, you know what? Fucking forest ain't so bad right now. this is a this is a nice place to be squatted down in with a garden right now. It's been pretty nice up here as far as that goes. But it is tough being stuck in the house though. You know, even for everybody though. It's a good time, you know. It's amazing to even that to hear the government come out and tell you now to be consuming cannabis or cannabis here in Michigan is you're an essential worker, you know, part of the essential crew. If in cannabis here in Michigan now, who would have ever saw that day coming?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So you said you mentioned yourself that you liked flour was your main ingestion method. So, what do you do with your other stuff in harvest? Your trimmings and stuff. You don't make no edible stuff out of that, or do you?
Uh, yeah, decarb. I just decarb and either go with moonshine 100% alcohol grain, or make a tincture, or I'll do the cocoa oil, coconut oil. Um, I've done some butter or made ghee and then made the butter, but I prefer just the coconut oil now because usually I just make chocolates. It's easy. I always like to cook, so I'm always kind of tweaking the recipe a little bit. Whether I make with cocoa powder is kind of cheap to do if you do it with cocoa powder, but melting morsels and just using the cocoa oil with the morsels is the way I go. And for decarbing, I don't know if it's right or not, but it's a fine line trying to get, if you have a thermometer for your oven, that's best. So you can get it at that, what is it, 235, 240, they say to be at. So I try to do that for 35 to 40 minutes. And I put it in a big stock pot it's a Le Creuset pot. So it's ceramic, or it's cast iron pot with an enamel, the big 12 quart or 16 quart. It's a beast. Thing's so fucking heavy. But put the top on it. The top weighs 8 pounds. Put the top on there and it just decarbs really nicely. Halfway through 40 minutes, I'll stir it up a little bit, put it back in the oven. But you got to make sure that or for this Le Creuset pot, I preheat the pot and then put the stuff in so so all the stuff that I've ground up goes in to a hot iron pan, and do that for the 40 minutes, and then I'll just either knock that off with the cocoa or the alcohol. That's what I've been doing, but it's hard. I got 2 young kids, so the freezer ends up being my last resort.
I can get that. I can understand that. Kids definitely can. You have to honor the people with kids. It's hard sometimes to keep it grow when you have children.
Yeah, and today, I mean, now we're homeschooling, so basically they've canceled school till next fall, but now they basically have the Zoom meetings each day, as well as the homework that's due that day, and then for the week, they're keeping them busy with a lot of electronic stuff. But it's more for, I mean, we're around, so it's a lot of work, but it's definitely a full-time job. You're parenting now. I can't leave my kids. They'll end up, I've got enough kids in the neighborhood that the whole neighborhood will be outside playing basketball. And if we could just keep the kids away from each other for another week or two, a lot more of the, I don't know. I just know kids are always bug factories. You know, they definitely harbor more. I never got sicker than when I had kids. They definitely brought a lot of bugs home.
Very true. Very true. They get that from the schools that, so they bring all that stuff home. Can you do? Gotta love them. Yeah, mine are all grown now. You can believe that. All three girls. It's a fun ride. Do I look old enough to have daughters that are? I can right here. I can see that shit in the light. Yeah, my oldest is 25. 25. I can believe that. 25, 20, 17. So got one just under there. I got three girls.
Wouldn't have it any other way, though, would you?
No, no, I love them. It was a fun dance with them though. Holy cow, the resin goes up on that thing. Uh, two of the three girls were two. I was told they were boys, and the last one I said I didn't want to know. I was like, you guys just you don't even know what you're talking about. But the first two, yeah, it's a boy. It's a boy. The second one, they did two ultrasounds, and we're certain of it. And then it was Lexi, like 100% girl. And then when the other one came, they were like, "You want to know?" I'm like, "Nope, you're not crushed. You're not getting me going again this time." It's kind of funny. I love them girls though. They made me a big softie. I never seen it coming.
Changed your life. They saved you.
I'm sure they did. I'm
Saved
sure they
me.
did. Kind of. You got girls, or is that what you got too?
Two boys.
Two
12,
boys.
12 and 16. Yeah, two boys.
Nice. Do they play sports and all that good stuff?
They both played soccer. One of them is now my 12-year-old's now more into the frisbee basketball. Well, no, my oldest is more into the frisbee basketball. My youngest is more into the football. But yeah, they definitely like. These days it's tough to get them outside, but springtime's here and bike season and the beach pretty soon and boats and sailing. There's always this. You got to relish the next 3 months.
So let me ask you this, and kind of putting you on the spot here. You can answer it if you don't, if you want. If you don't, I respect that too. But I have kids, so I feel for you here. So whether they become a point when your kids get older, instead of passing like that fatherly beer that they used to have when you were kids or younger generations, will there be a moment where instead of that beer, you sit them down, see if you want to hit this cannabis cigarette, and later on, you think there'll be a moment where you'll pass down the cannabis, or at least have that moment with them, see if they're interested in it or whatever, have that talk, I guess. It was a weird moment how I actually had to introduce it with my kids, but do you ever see that possibility? I mean, like it was kind of like you said, in a weird way passed down to you as well. You know what I mean? Through the cancer, but nonetheless, from generation one to the other, you think it'll ever be, uh, or will you be too embarrassed? What are your thoughts from father to child views?
Yeah, I mean, I can't live in that shame, so for me, I don't hide it. Um, they know that it's here. I do have a 12-year-old kid in the house, um, but my kids respect me and respect the plant, respect what's going on, and I could never lie to my children about anything like that. So,
I
so yeah,
appreciate the openness. I
but
respect that. I really do.
I don't. Thank you. But I don't think young brains that are growing should be doing alcohol or weed. Um, for the
Oh, I
most,
agree. I agree.
protect their brain.
I'm talking about later in life. I mean, of course, like there is moments, you know, like you've seen them in the movies, like Vacation there, where they're sitting out on the rock with, you know, the sun rusty and shit. I'm sure that happens, you know, from time to time. And I was just wondering if there was ever a moment that you know, whatever. I know for me, it was weird. Uh, when I smoked with my father for the first time, it was after I had my first child. I was like 23 for the first time, and it was weird then for me. And then when I actually smoked with my first child, who is 25 now, which was like 2 years ago, uh, she came to me and she was like, well, she had a new boyfriend, and that's kind of where it came from. And she's like, "Yeah, me and him are going. It's our anniversary, and last year we went to the where he took her for the first date was the hash bash. So the anniversary, she asked if I wanted to go with him, you know, and I was like, oh sure, but so it was that day that you know, she was like 24 on the way down to the hash bash for the first time with her dad that was you know there for like already selling seeds and shit because I was working for TGA the day, you know, so cool then, and so it was kind of really weird, but and then with Lexus it was a little different with Lexus. So she was actually she had an accident. And they had to put her on some medications to deal with the anxiety, and she didn't like the medications, and the only way to get her off the medications were to introduce CBD, never THC. She didn't. She still doesn't like, you know. And I did offer it, you know, but she didn't. She didn't like the THC. She found the relief in the CBD. So, you know, at that point was she was 20 at that point. So, you know, it was a little. My two interests were a little bit different than most, but nonetheless, and I had somebody the other day ask me in chat because I said I had to log off early. They're like, "Well, you need to teach Lexi how to do that trimming. She's old enough." And I guess my thoughts on that are, you know, if she were ever interested, I guess, and she was passionate about the plant, I don't think I would discourage her growing in any way, but I don't think I would push it. You know what I mean? If she's got an interest and says, "Yeah, I want to help," I would say, "Yeah, sure, come on in here," and maybe throw her a pair of scissors. But I'm not going to be that dad that, you know, come here, you got to do this. You know, it's, no. She if she had a genuine interest in cultivate cultivation. Excuse me, a little dry mouth there. Uh, I think I would support it if she had a genuine love for it, but there's no way I would try to introduce it to her without her insinuating it, I guess.
What strain do you grow for her for the CBD?
I don't anymore. I was growing Coma Creations Blueberry Quintessenta, but her preferred method is just the oil, like a vape pen. So it's just easier to get her some cartridges because I don't really make oil and then cartridges and all that good stuff. So uh, yeah, but she does occasionally try the flower, but you know that's what I was offering her then, which that's what I gave Spartan Grown. it has a cut of the blueberry quintessa now, and so does skill ball, and that was a really nice strain for pain and anxiety. I mean, really good. Right here in front of me, I still got. I actually got this for Smiley, for a friend of his. Somebody close to him was looking for a good CBD strain, and for him for coming up for the idea of the 24-hour marathon. I told him he'd been hunting for this for a while. I said, well, I think I can help you out, and I made a phone call and hooked him up. But this is available from North Star still, I believe. That's Deadlights. That's AC/DC times the Pennywise, which is a super heavy CBD dominant strain. So if you're looking for one, this is a really good CBD strain right here. I think, like I said, I'm pretty sure it's still available from North Star. It used to be a dank strain, TGA strain, but that's where you can find it now. If you're looking for a good one. I've heard a lot of good things about that in particular strain.
Right now, we've got rec is closed, and so it's medicinal only, but they're trying to push rec open too. But so there's a shortage. So I've never done it before, but I'm looking to do some sort of a cream for one of my friends who can't get the rubs right now because he doesn't have a card, which is kind of crazy. They should just automatically allow you to do it online. But yeah, dispensaries aren't exactly a great source here. I think it's the regulations and the fact that there's a lack of commercial grows. We're certainly the other end of the spectrum from, say, Oklahoma, which seems to be, $10,000, and you pretty much can max out a facility for 10 G's, local permitting and stuff like that. But here it would cost you millions just to run a 20 by 20. Well, 20, 400 square foot flowering room. Price of real estate.
They're not making the transition too easy here in Michigan. They want to see you licensed in the full build out, really, in a lot of municipalities before they're going to give you that final okay. Which that's hanging out a lot out there before you can get that final okay. That seems super unfair. Super unfair.
Yeah, the permitting is basically by town. So that's just, I'm sure it's the same for you guys, but the permitting here is, by town. So every inspector has the way they like it. So it's dealing with local inspection and then, national codes, and everybody wants it a little bit differently. It's definitely a funky build out. Coming from, before I did this, I was doing the restaurant thing. So with the restaurant, building food trucks, we already had to deal with the towns. We just had to deal with a different division of the town to get the inspections done by the health, which they're the worst. The inspectors of public health, that's the toughest. But the Marijuana Commission, different rules. We're kind of like Michigan. I know you guys can't use like microbials or really do organic growing on a commercial scale just because of the fact that they don't decipher whether you got a good bug you're putting in your plant or a bad bug. So they just, any bug is bad for those tests, which make it impossible to do anything more organic than running salts. Why would you if you can't if you can't run bacteria in a bacteria dominated soil that you need for cannabis? Yeah, it's definitely tough. So there's not a lot of supply of the best, but I don't think.
Man, I was just looking through things here. And we've lost the majority of our fucking views there in that stumble. I'm so bummed about that. Because we were rocking at 50, now we got 13 hanging in. Not that 13 isn't amazing. What a bummer. Damn YouTube. Damn YouTube. No. It's Jimmy Crack Seeds. Not Johnny Cana Seeds. Jimmy Crack Seeds. Sorry. Jimmy Crack Seeds. Hold on. I want to make sure and show this message just so. How you like live, ganja growah? The many fun things that can happen. Let's see here. Oh, there you go. Can you see that? Jimmy Crack Seeds.
Yep.
Jimmy Crack Seeds, guess 47. The number was 48. Just so you know, I'm not bullshitting. That's Tribal's message right there. Yeah. I know. I was thinking that too as I seen him come up, man. I'm like, God damn, that's close. Them names are real close right there. But no, it was Jimmy Crack Seeds, not Johnny Cana Seeds. God, what a bummer. Are you both in Canada? What are those odds? Oh, so how was your day there, ganja grower? Kind of got off tempo now with all the interruptions. It's a hard recovery. Being bluntly honest with you, brother.
I don't know how you can keep track of chat and do this.
Oh, it can be difficult sometimes. It can be very difficult. It's right now. It's pretty easy. It's pretty slow. It's pretty slow right now, but like earlier, it was bumping by. It can be a little confusing, but yeah. So how was the weather there in Boston? Is that what you said, Boston, or south of Brown, Boston?
Yeah, we're at that. Still highs 60, but usually 40s at night and 55, 60 during the day. It's a little rainy, a little dreary. May the fish start to show up. We got like flounder show up in early May. The sea bugs are offshore right now, but a lot of great fishing, a lot of good food. Yeah, summer's where it's at. We get it's. I live kind of out on the Cape above Boston, so our beaches are nice sand. It's definitely a good place to hang out. But yeah, don't. Right now, with the way things are, you really can't even go on the beach. So really, it's been pretty much hunker down, play music, read books, do that kind of shit. Oh yeah. This is what got me. This shit got me into. Did you ever see that guy? Like being a Boy Scout and like the old Tom Brown. You remember this guy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Pretty wild.
Yeah, the books kind of like these were more of stories about his childhood growing up in the Pine Barrens of New Jersey. But he also ran a nature course out there, and basically, the first day you you basically were given a 12 by 12 inch area on the farm, and you just had to look at every piece of life within that 12 by 12 inch. That was your whole day. He was really about the earth in a different way. Like you go tracking animals. It was really cool. You learn to hunt, you learn to track, you learn all the survival stuff. He was really kind of an interesting cat. Drew a lot of interesting people around him. He was also he was a tracker for the FBI whenever it was a big case, one of the big cases. He was the guy that they sent in to do the tracking for a lot of years, 20 something years or so. But he has books on plant medicine. But I think those books in 1492, this book, so many good, or like
There's
looking
something
at,
to be said about just physical books anymore. You know what I mean? I can't do like a digital book. They're too brutal on my eyes. Audible's all right if because I can listen while I'm doing something. But there's just something about having the knowledge and knowing that you're not gonna lose that son of a bitch, and you can just pick it up and put it on the shelf, and it's there whenever you need it. And it's not, you ain't gonna have to download it again, or you know what I mean. There's just something about that physical copy of the book that's so much. Uh, you know, I'm appreciator of. I appreciate physical copies of books. It's just like I said, I've tried them all. And the digital copies are brutal. And even if you buy a digital copy and it's not like an audible copy, and you go, okay, well, I'm gonna just read it to me. You know what I mean? And then you get that computer voice, and that's so unnatural that you shelf it anyway. But it's nice to see somebody like yourself still buying actual books. I do it myself. But it's nice to see that I'm not the only one buying hard copies or books, actual physical books. So.
yeah, it's definitely nice to be able to reference. Um, I got a lot of digital stuff too, but I always wish I had gotten the print. I've never been happy that I got the digital copy. But this other book was another one early, Charles Mann. This guy, 1491, pre-Columbian, just talking about how amazing the agriculture, how much more advanced the civilizations were pre-Columbian. Before we got here, there's no respect given to how well the grounds were planted. Like where you were in Michigan, these symbiotic relationships were cultivated by the Indians way back when. They planted these forests 1,000 years ago in the ways that they did to, and we've disrupted them all. None of them still stand. But their agriculture was natural, just kind of like one straw revolution, the same kind of thing of simplicity of agriculture. They planted the trees where they wanted. They designed North America and everywhere else they went, designed it to be symbiotic, and it's amazing. With this guy, basically maps out how advanced they really were. Nothing, because they built with basically humus. They built with wood. Nothing's left. So people think they didn't thrive, but they were actually the greatest farmers of all. And we're just trying to get right back to where they were, because a lot of these same stuff that was in pre-Columbian history of the U.S. is taken off of those Japanese principles, which is, those guys are really kind of KNF and all that whole movement is really pushing plant health to another level. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, the whole Chinese system, Korean system of growing, like you said, it's been, they grew on tariffs. They taught themselves agriculture and sustained themselves quite well in their environment. Why wouldn't we take some great notes for them? Even I would just finished up today the Intelligent Gardener, and it was referencing books from like 1904. They were suggesting you go back and read. They're like everything they said back then is still true today. You know what I mean? You know, with minor improvements, but we highly suggest you know, go back and read this book from 1904, and it's a good read. Blah blah blah. No, no. So yeah, it's a lot of the old knowledge. It's like you said, it just makes so much sense. And rotating crops, areas, and, you know, just letting you know the crops rejuvenate the soil versus you dumping a bunch of shit back in them, and just letting time and rotation take care of rejuvenating things versus artificial inputs and whatnot. We're killing the soil with our artificial inputs, the microorganisms. And another thing I heard today, the pasteurization theory. You know what I mean? Versus rotating and rotating fields and just you know rotating crops versus uh, the thought of you know grazing, letting animals you know come eat and shit all over the property to fertilize it. You know, like they did. How big of a mistake that was. How big you know it's I'm diving deeper into the soil right now. I've been organic or I've been babbling for how long with my mic off? Rats.
Oh no,
My mic's yeah, oh yeah. Could you hear me?
I can. Yeah.
Did you? I just seen it little popped up out of nowhere. It's like unmute yourself. But yeah, um, I've been just getting interested in more of the organic processes and growing. You know, I'm kind of sick of it. So I've been reading more up on organic processes and just microbes, teas, all all this good stuff before I make that switch. You know, I don't like to just jump into nothing blind. So doing all the research right now. Just finished up teaming with my grows a few days ago. I got just purchased from dirt to soil today. It's my listen for tomorrow. It's one of my guilties right there. That's an audio book for tomorrow. From dirt to soil. It'll be my lesson tomorrow.
They've got like Jeremy from Build a Soil's got that he's got a couple of different amendment packs. He's always kind of mixing them up. But just starting out in the organic soil department, you can instead of buying all, you know, because these all these little micro minerals that you need and all this stuff that you know you really is beneficial to an organic grow. You don't need much if you're just doing a small amount. Um, but they sell the mix in like a 5, 10. Um, I mean, you could get it as big as you wanted, but I think the smallest is 5 pound. And even for the small grower, they can mix this to not a hot soil, but like, you know, just a more mellow soil, um, or even a hot soil if you wanted to, but it could, it definitely very, very good amendment. Oh my gosh, what am I talking about?
Soil amendments from Build a Soil.
Oh, it's called Amendment Pack. Right now they've got one with like neem and it's got all the cakes in it. It's got some basalt. It's got, it's got all different kinds of stuff in it. And it's just a great way to just charge up a soil to give you the elemental needs of to have a really good, well-balanced soil to allow the rhizosphere to thrive. Because the fungi will get down there and they it's amazing. You just see them. After you take a root, you see them. You ever see them like they'll wrap around the basalt, the bigger pieces, and they'll just be. If you pull the piece of basalt out of it, you'll see it's all stained and it's been sucking that basalt. It's been sucking the phosphorus right out of it. It's amazing to see how um, that stuff actually be used by the plant. But that can get you into it cheaply. That's one of the things that I wish, you know, at the beginning I kind of, you know, had learned about Jeremy and what he was mixing over there, because it would have saved me. Because I bought biochar, I had to activate it myself. I bought a brick of cocoa, and I had to condition the shit myself. I took on way too much work for the first time. You know, between all the different, you know, yucca powders, and I bought all the different amendments, cakes, and then I used Nectar for the Gods. Um, I've always loved that. It's expensive though, but it definitely, the results are good. But just doing the simple build a soil with a simple soil, and I think you're on your way to organic growing. And if you just got the sample kit from Nectar for the Gods, this month they're not doing it, but because Scott's basically there with just, um, it's just him, and it's the owner of the company and one employee right now kind of doing the shipping out there. So they're not doing the sample pack, but when they have it back on out, essentially you pay for shipping. So it's like $39 maximum, 29 I think from Midwest, but $39 shipped, and it's 26 pounds of newts. They give you a full quarts of 6 newts, and then 2 pints of the Bloom Chaos and the pH. It's enough to do a tentful for a run at least. It's a great deal for $39 to get you into organic gardening. You get Jeremy's pack, which 5 pounds, you can run, you know, 6, you can run your limit, you know, 12 limit is our limit. So 12 plants, you could run 1 grow at least for short money. I'm all about the short money. Get into it short, make your mistakes, and then start adding to it.
I agree. I agree. Just get in there and get started is the important thing.
Right?
Get them plants going. You can always have time to improve. Goes for anything, any dream you have. That's great advice for any dream you have. Just fucking get going. And shit will, you know, you don't have to be great to get started. You just have to get started to be great. It's always been one of my favorite quotes.
Exactly.
It's been a great night. Great night. I'm gonna have to try to get you back on one night when so you can hopefully come back without the damn skip. That was a God, what a bummer that was.
No worries, man.
Like I said though, it's hard to recover from that, you know. I mean, you get a good rhythm going and then you gotta stop and reboot and all that and figure out what the heck happened, figure out where the heck I have no idea where we left off. Well, I remember you were talking, you know, about super cropping, but I'm not even trying to pick up there. You know what I mean? We'll just try it, you know, we'll get you back another day and let it all come flowing back through again. But and this is a great interview. It's been a great show. I'm just super bummed that YouTube had to throw that curveball in there. I'm still, like I said, I'm still hoping that that 24-hour marathon airs. I'm still, like I said, I did you briefly shoot off that message yesterday, and I'm hoping that it helps. I don't know if I'm poking the bear or what. I said quite adamantly, I should have probably just left that shit alone and see what happens. But man, I really want that episode to air. I can't even download it right now. Until it posts, there's nothing I can do with it. I am screwed just out of everything until it posts. What's up, Jack Greenstock? I just want to throw that in there too. This Cannabis badass.
That video had just under 2,000 views right away, and then it was gone. But it was definitely I mean, the viewership was steady Eddie the whole way through. It was pretty impressive. And you stand at 24.
I've been on the record of saying that too. I'd love to see that video, but I'm almost don't want to see that ending there because I know I'm looking pretty bad towards the end.
And you were done what till 5 a.m. the night before, or 4 something the night before. So you were razor thin on. At the end of that, you were exhausted. Great show though.
Yeah, that's good time. Definitely good time. A lot of great info. That's the bummer was there was a lot of great information there that got dropped that day, and hopefully not lost. Yeah, hopefully, yeah, because usually I'm guilty. I explained this the other day to somebody else. If I record it right now through Zoom, it takes up a larger format and it has to be converted anyway. So, but if I just live stream it and don't worry about the edits, uh, which is a time saver right there, not having to edit. I can always download it back from YouTube in an MP4 format, which is a lot smaller and convenient. You know, that post to anything else, you can always do something with that. So I'm guilty of letting YouTube do the work for me, and then I get it back from YouTube. So as far as the 24-hour thing goes, if it doesn't process, I'm screwed. I don't even have a backup of it or nothing. Just ugh, so mad at myself for not hitting record that day. But I did look at it, and it's like I think it was like 10 gigs or something like that. It was no small file that they're going through. That's for sure. And then you got to figure it's got 24 hours of comments too that they got to fit. But still, hopeless, hopeless. Like you kind of touched on the analytics proved all everybody did. Like I seen everybody's names throughout the day. You know, it built, but man, the analytics said just that. It went up and it stayed there all day long. Well, I think most people, you know, they gave me heads props or whatever, but obviously, uh, most of you guys stayed up or were part of that whole 24 hours too. So that's pretty fucking awesome. Wow, man. Talk about support. We're going the gauntlet with you, buddy. Pretty badass.
Sadly, I did fall asleep just for a moment. Sorry, Skilbo, but it was so early in the morning. But I woke up to Skilbo. It was great.
That was a good day. Oh man, Alex D all day. I missed 2 hours. Johnny came to see. That's I that's the thing. I know for a fact because I'm sat here like you said, and watch chat. You know, I watch you with one eye, and I kind of got one eye on chat, and I seen them names all day long. So I know that people weren't necessarily calling bullshit. The people that said they were just taking a nap and pop back in, that's exactly what they did. That counts. That counts, my man. If you take a weed nap and come back, you made the gauntlet. That counts. But the analytics were definitely there. That was pretty awesome. I can't remember. I'll have to. I can look that up. Here, let me see if I can. Oh, it's better on here though. It's better to do on YouTube on the. I guess I can still try to do it. Yeah, right here. Analytics. Um, it was like 3 months of watch time, something like that. All in all, it's pretty crazy. The whole amount. I was pretty impressed for a 1 day stream. I was pretty impressed.
Yeah,
What to do with you guys?
sure. Yeah, it was great. Just so many different. Yeah, I mean, you had so many great guests all coming on. Plus, everybody was hyping it everywhere else too, so people knew, which was great. It's just sad to sorry, some of my cat's just about ready to drink some of my fertilizer over here. the tea that I made, um, which actually I will give her the SLF, but that's good for them. The yeah, it was just so many people packed into 24 hours, and every show um, was pumping people. So it was great to see everybody show up that late, especially, most people, I mean, before the quarantine, I wouldn't be up this late. So, but with the quarantine, it's great to just have this content and, dropping knowledge, and, your show has been a great outlet. There's a bunch of great shows right now, to keep us nerds, um, learning and improving our grow, evolving as growers. And this has been one of the stops. You've had everybody on here, and I hate to even say any name, but I'm amazed at how quickly people have responded, and how much great content that here and all these other shows on YouTube have provided me and so many other people. It's really cool, Plus, taking care of each other. It's a community right now, and people have kind of backing each other up, and you know helping each other out. It's kind of cool.
It is. It's super cool. I mean, it's not just cool. It's super cool. The amount of support that is for each other. The shout outs and the show for each other shows. Just like you said, the information that's being pumped out there. And it's just like us. It's the good folks like yourself that are willing to step up and, put themselves out there and, put what they know out there. That's everything. You know what I mean? To me, the hand to hand knowledge there is really incredible. It takes years to accumulate knowledge like that. And we're just putting it out there every day. You know what I mean? That's uh, that's pretty awesome. I think it's a good time to be a cannabis grower. That's for sure.
I was more of a dog person, and then this lady came into my life, um, from the kids, and she's like a dog. She goes to the beach off leash with me. She goes for walks off leash with me in the neighborhood all the time. She's an outdoor cat too, but she'll stay right next to me. Um, she kind of turned me around to the cats too. They're a little bit fickle, but she's bugging me now. She wants something. She's about the size of
So,
your dog.
yeah, she looks like she's bigger than my dog.
She has seasonal affective disorder when it comes to the winters. She just fattens up, and then in the wintertime, she won't go outside at all. If there's snow on the ground, there's no chance. She will not use a litter box. In the summer, she'll go outside, but in the wintertime, she's got to use a litter box. She won't go outside at all, and she just fattens up. And then in the springtime, she usually slims down a little bit. Hopefully, I don't know. I mean, I've put on like 20 pounds since this quarantine's gone on, so I can't be throwing stones.
Yeah, I've been a double whammy since quarantine. Cause yeah, I'm stuck at home myself, and then I've kind of donated a lot of my good time that I would normally be working out and hitting the bag and all that good shit. I have not had time to hit the bag or do any good workout session in 36 episodes. It's starting to catch up. So it's starting to catch up. So
Sweatpants and shorts.
yep. I always like my sweatpants anyway. They're probably not for the same reason though. Not for the same. Maybe. Maybe. Oh man, I enjoy my sweatpants. I'll tell you this right now. Fuck it. It's late. We're on the third go round at this episode, right? Right. I love my sweatpants just because I got my ass fixed. As soon as I got my ass fixed, my nuts dropped like a fucking sack of potatoes. And fucking tight pants suck anymore. And sweatpants are the only comfortable fucking thing around the house. Biggest mistake I ever made in my life. I thought it was a good idea until them fuckers dropped like a stone. And then there's no going back once they drop. I do not suggest it. Guys, if it comes to the option of you or them, them. Don't do it. Shit. Man, it's late. That's funny. Look, I got both. Look at the sad faces right now from both my girls right there. It's one of my girls, sad face, sad face, sad face. My other girl, sad face. It's too late for you kids to be hanging out in chat. Get out of my chat. Get out of my chat. Damn it. That's funny. See what I mean, ganja grower? What, how you going to approach it? That you ever come across? What would you do in that problem? Your kids are hanging out in your grow chat. What do you do to that? Hopefully they're older before they find you in the grow chat, I guess. and hopefully you're smarter than I am to tell some of these damn stories before you realize. I'm guilty of that night after night, if you've noticed that. Forgetting that like Lexi's in chat and start getting off topic there. There's many times I've gotten off the camera here and she's kind of looked at me and like, I never knew that. I never knew that. I'm like, rats, I never met you to know that either. So but hang out, Jack.
Do as I say, not as I do. Is that what you're preaching?
Right. That was funny. Well, ganja grower, I think I might call her tonight. I got I'm supposed to go for an interview tomorrow. I think I'm just toying with myself about work. I'm a full-time caregiver for the most part. I got a whole no bias there. I'm an ex master carpenter, and there a few months ago, when I was like really bored, I kind of threw out application. There was this grocery store for a big cannabis group. You know, it's actually a nasty word. I'm not even gonna say who the money group is, but they were looking for a manager for a local branch for a grocery store, and time passed and they didn't call. They had to call last week, so I got an appointment to go in tomorrow and talk with them. So I'm gonna go at least toy the idea, see what they got to say, and all that fun stuff. So, you know, what's funny is because I told them, you know, when they called me, I'm like, yeah, things have changed since you know, I put in that app. I'm a little more busier now. I'm kind of working on 2 different shows. Full-time caregiver. You know, I'm willing to work with you. You know, I just laid out everything that's on my plate. You still want me to come in and talk to you? That's cool. I even sent them a link to the shows. And I'll be damned if they didn't call back the next day. Yeah, we want you to come in. I'm like, ooh, all right. I'll come in and talk to you. So I got to get up early in the morning tomorrow.
No better spot to learn new tricks is working in a grow shop. I mean, That'd be cool. Just
right?
it's, you know,
Well,
discounts knowledge.
the the discount all in itself was pretty appealing. Although I don't buy a whole lot of nutrients, but if you're getting that big of a discount, who's to say that's a good time to maybe pick up an environment controller or some things I ain't, maybe a watering system, some shit I've kicked around for a while. Might be a good time to just jump on and play with that for a little while, cashing on some of that fun stuff. I don't know. Like I even told her this. I can talk cannabis all day with one eye open. So I'm pretty sure I can talk to people all day long about cannabis when they come in. Again, turn around. When can you come in? I'm like, okay. As long as I've laid everything else. I've laid all the truths on the table for you. I can't make it any more clear for you. If you're still interested, I don't know how I cannot show up. So, and then at that too, I've kind of put off go because of the way things are. I've kind of put off going to the grocery store anyway. So I do need some stuff. So I can't think of a better time than to cash in on that shit than while I'm here for an interview. I also need some shit. Can you give me a discount on this while I'm here? Always thinking how to try to save some money. I always think. But
Absolutely, it adds up fast.
it does. Like you were saying, I haven't run that nectar of the gods there, but I've heard great things about it, and I've seen excellent results, excellent bud. But now might be a good time to maybe grab a quick enough for one run and see if I like it. Might be a good, like you said, might be a good time just to experiment on some shit, if nothing else.
That's it.
So,
Ever evolving.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Just ever evolving as a grower. You know, this science is just coming in now. You know, 6 months from now there'll be more adjustments. You know, it seems things are really evolving quickly. With LEDs are still. I think programmable spectrum is still going to be like Spartan talks about that fluence, not the fluence, the science light he's got that's got a programmable spectrum. That thing looks pretty cool. Just for the home growers, got some money to burn. You know, tunable spectrum is where the future is, I think, with LEDs to be able to kind of, mimic the real sunrise. A lot of the grow rooms that we did here were exactly that. They actually had, what do you call it, the sensor. So they came with a weather, indoor and outdoor weather sensor with the photometer. So the outdoor So Bugbee's company makes them too. They're just it's like a spherical outdoor sensor, um, and basically they could mimic. They had these grow chambers were built to spec completely dehumidification. Uh, the environmental controls were like top notch, but they would also was all computer controlled, and the the boards were tunable spectrum. So it's the same kind of thing as that. They're doing in the commercial grows. These are like we're doing prototypes for these guys, but they're basically building them on. So they're building basically tractor trailer, the shipping containers, because we've got a surplus of them. They're just using shipping containers, and we're building out these uh, grow rooms basically, completely sealed CO2. They're running, Arduino hacks for the environmental controls onto these two systems. But basically, I mean, it's similar to, it's like spillover from saltwater aquarium technology where you can, they were making addressable boards to like mimic uh, ocean effects like storms and stuff. And that kind of spilled over now to the uh, to the plants. And I think that those tunable spectrums, I think over time, I think it's you know, being able to kind of really control those on and off temperatures where the most environmental changes happen, where everybody, no matter what controls you have, there's a spike on both of those ends. And the real good commercial guys are really working on how to even the curve. They do testing with wet sock thermometers and all these different to really dial in the environment to to uh, to basically you know, avoid those spikes. And I think with the right blends of the reds and kind of evaporating through the energy of the spectrum of light, you can kind of smooth the transition from light to dark or dark to light, let alone the
Well,
photosynthetic um, changes in plant response on nodal spacing and all that stuff. But the technology is getting amazing. So it's definitely cool if they sell lights and do newts and you just be on the forefront of all that stuff is always fun. Good luck with that. I hope you do it
I
part
know,
time.
man. I wish I could. I gotta poke Sergeant Pepper there. Tell him go back through that video for me. We talked about the science lights the other night in good detail, like just like you're saying, mimicking a daylight effect. And he said that do offer a couple of big, nice lights over there at Scientific Grow that he was suggesting for one. But I don't see why they don't make lights right now that don't have the flower initiator and all that shit built right in to where they shut off the reds or fire them up maybe in the mornings and then shut them off just before red. And just before flower too. That's another thing we were talking about with them is pulling the reds back late in flower, to keep from harming trichomes and keeping the terps up. You know what I mean? There's no reason why these light companies, they know all this science. All we should be able to, we should be able to play with them if we want to, but the science should be there. You know what I mean? We should be able to just plug it in, go, okay, you're flowering now, and it automatically does the ignition in flower initiator. You know, ramp up, go down, put them to sleep, all in one bar, all in one bar. And if you need multiple bars, they're all just plug and play, just sync with each other. Just we're there. We've the tech's there. Unfortunately, it's probably just a thing dollar amount now, but hopefully it comes down. But it's the day and age of growing, man. This is a good time to be alive. Good time to be a grower, that's for sure. Jack's talking in chat here. I love all the good knowledge Jack throws down. Said blue can make the plant more squat, but more. Oh, I ain't even tried to fucking pronounce it. Purple pigment in the flower can make red increase stretch and help flower inflammation. Yes, I agree with the reds can make it stretch. That's the one thing. It'd be nice to have more control over them, so you can pull them back. Because like like this light behind me now, and I've got a light over there that kicks out lots of reds, and I find that stretch to be nice, but it sure would be nice to be able to like cut it off at like 2 for a while, when you're not looking for all that stretch, and maybe turn it back on when it's just flower production. You know what I mean? Or maybe even shut it off that 1 or 2 week, and then turn it back on later in flower for flower production. It'd be nice to have little options like that, not just dialing the power up and down, but individual colors. Which that science light, I believe you could do. That's pretty badass light, though. You know what I mean? To be able to dial it all, play with it right from your phone that's pretty amazing.
They've got the like the camera you got. I've got an easy the same kind of thing, but has all IFTT protocol built right in so that you can actually IFTT like if this, then that. So it basically is programming, so it can control. So basically, your camera can control other devices like your plugs or whatever. So you can actually kind of smart grow just through Arduino and your and your camera just through IFTT and get some more customization. But there's all these little nerdy hacks that some of these guys are doing just to kind of dial in their grow room in that same way, but without having their power supplies go on and off via the simplest way, mechanical, be just using Google plugs or the Amazon plugs and having them turn off and on based on time and also on the camera. Kind of cool, that technology, but I think really all in one is the next generation, I hope. Jeez.
Just so much convenient for the grower, and the technology's there. Why can't they put them in all one? You know what I mean? All about convenience for us. Of course, there's so much DUI out there, man. There's always going to be somebody out there putting lights together, trying to stay 2 steps ahead. And it's pretty great that the lighting industry has been pretty, as far as I can tell anyway, it's been pretty open source. You know what I mean? The parts, here's the parts we're working on right now. And we can put them together for you at a cost, or give you the next best thing, or here you go, you build it yourself. I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, the Pacific Lights Concepts Green Jeans is just kind of him and Growmow kind of on the lighting end of things on the DIY side have really kind of given the home grower just so many solutions to so many small grow problems, as well as just freaking amazing advice on drivers and just how to run series, how to wire them in series, how to wire them parallel, efficiencies, especially, it's going to be even more important with like the new Diablo. I'm sure Atrium will be coming out with their new beast as well. Atrium Lighting's another American-made quantum board style light. It's those lights are great. I mean, people like the Fluent Spider or some of those Science, or where they're the bars where you get I think you do get a more even footprint to some degree, but I think the Diablo running at those low wattages is going to really kind of change the game a little bit on that front. Otherwise, just the LEDs, LM301, Samsung LM301B. You don't need to buy H, don't pay more for H, but just the 301Bs are amazing for just like a QB132, like what I use here. It's a perfect pattern. You can just stack them, and they're spread enough that they're not going to be too strong, and they're efficient enough, and you can run them like I run mine with like open cage. Like my walls, sorry. It's the humidistat, and then I got open cage Meanwell drivers basically running down. So those are 75 watts. A 75 watt Meanwell closed driver is like, I don't know, $80 shipped. I get those for like 20. So I'm already mounting them outside of my tent anyways. I don't want them inside, so I don't need them IP65 or IP67, or I don't need them waterproof. So the open cage style is pretty good. It's not ideal. I would like to have the dimmable, but for the DIY guy that wants to get in, you can get 4 QB132s. That's 300 watts for $130, and then another $60 in power supplies, a little bit of 18 gauge wire. If you got some speaker wire, it's 18 gauge. It's a simple solution. It's really easy to do. All you need is a cord as well, a power cord, and that's all. That's it. A little wire. You can string them up. Simple. For short dough, for that kind of price, basically 75 watts for $50 for 75 watts of LM301B LEDs. That's a great 3x3 flowering. That's all I use. That's all I need. I don't need to push until I start to. Once you start pushing with the food, then you got to push with the nutrition. Then you, I don't know. I'm not pushing right off the bat in the veg. I'm looking for sex, and I'm looking for. I, I'm patient. I don't need the flower right away. I'll wait a month if I don't flower. It doesn't matter to me. Um, but when they're ready, they're ready.
I agree. I'd rather have a plant that's in structure the way I want it versus throwing something in there that's going to be a waste of time. That's always been a lot of my bitch lately is it's a plant count thing. Plant count, I'm not in a state where I go by square footage. I'm in a state where I go by plant count. So, I don't want to put all my plant count in a 4x4. I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket, goddammit. I'd rather have space them out, bigger plants, and do more with my count than versus just one little sea of green that just takes too much time. Again, with plant count with the same amount of plants, you could space that out and have a perpetual harvest where you've just tied all your plants up for 4 months. 4 months when you could be running a 4-plant cycle and perpetual harvest every month, pulling forward out. You know what I mean? People can be impatient. That's in my thought. It's impatient. But I'm not knocking anybody's grow style. I guess if it were square, wasn't a square foot, a plant count, but versus square foot, maybe I might run a bunch of plants on the table. I definitely see the advantage, but for me, it's a plant count, so I have to utilize plant size versus square footage. That's why you see that one right behind me there. That one's got another week before I'm still gonna play with her and bend her around a little bit before I put her into flower there. Just me. I was actually there's like 3 I think in that tent right now. Yeah, there's 3 in the tent you can see, and the one sitting out. It's actually the one in the big pot like this one here, in the back. I'm gonna pull those other 2 out, and I'm gonna just fucking that one big girl in that 4x4. I'm just gonna fucking scrog her out. They're just them girls are in there right now just for they're waiting for their other space to get clean. This tent here's got to be fucking clean tonight, and then they'll be pumped into this tent. But they're there for convenience right now. But 2 will be pulled out, and then the scrog net's going down on the one, and I'm gonna work her through and flip it up. Just again, why do I want to put those 3 in there when I've seen the one can probably do the job? So, why not just, you're saying, let off the gas a little bit on the veg and do more with your plant count? So a well-trained plant will reward you every time. That plant that you had in that outside pot's beautiful. That thing's ready to good. Like I said, you said it wasn't a beast, but I see the potential. I said it was a beast because I know if you were to throw that thing under a good light right now, she would beast out on you right now. I guarantee. I see the plant that's probably about 16 inches. This right here, it kind of, that can double if you leave just sort to throw that into a tent.
Open up the tent and no.
No, grow mouse is not at chilled anymore. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a beautiful girl right there. And that's what I was kind of saying when you showed me that thing. And that wasn't, she's ready for flower, don't get me wrong. But you could easily, if you were more patient and you weren't ready, you could pull down the ones that aren't pulled down in between the ones you got pulled down. You know what I mean? You could beast that thing out one more time if you want to be a patient grower. It can be a beautiful plant nonetheless, though. Oh yeah, beautiful, healthy girls.
These are the Rasta Jeff's. Rasta Jeff's gifts to me. They were they definitely got vigor.
I need to reach out to him again. Some of the people I reached out to in the early days, they I think because I didn't have no numbers, they weren't so anxious to jump on. But now that I've got some numbers, I think maybe I can get some folks that I've reached out to in the beginning. I like the breeders. I don't know. That's my guilty. That's where I want to pick as much knowledge as I can right now from the breeders. What strain are they working on? What terps are they looking for? What are they trying to sneak to us next? As a tester, that's always been, I've always liked trying to stay ahead of that curve. I don't know. You don't look like you may not listen to the rap music much, but I like anything. I don't care for the rap music all that much, but cannabis rap music, okay. If it talks about cannabis a little bit, I'll patronize it a little bit if it's talking about some weed. But there's a rapper Burner that what in particularly strikes my fancy about Burner is he was like a grower gangster before all of this, right? So he what he's rapping about, he actually lived. You know what I'm saying? He used to grow black market salesman grower for before he ever even thought about getting into the rap thing. And so in one of the verses in his song, he's like, he's like, this shit right here, you ain't even heard of yet. And that's what I've always liked about I've kind of used that, I've said that a lot being a tester, you know what I mean? The stuff right here, probably won't even hear about for like 2 more years. Still in the testing phase. But I guarantee it, when you do hear that name, you'll be like, man, I remember smoking that with him a long time ago. But that's one of the fun things about testers is you might be cracking that gem that might be that legendary strain tomorrow. You worked it first. Something cool about that.
I was lucky growing up. Well, really in college, I really got my taste of good cannabis. Was a buddy of mine. His older brother was played Division I basketball. It's kind of an icon in the time in a basketball community around here for a local guy. He was a younger brother, but he used to get some just crazy ass pine, super duper bud. Back when it was just that's when because before that I don't think I really even knew what good bud was. And I still have friends today who they just don't even know what they're smoking. They just don't even care. They'll give I don't know if it's palate or in their regular smokers, but they they don't really discern. And I think part of that is just the market. It's tough to get good bud. Even at dispensaries have decent bud, but I think it's driven by those THC numbers on the package.
Isn't that sad? Isn't that sad? I hate that because it's so misleading. Consumers that are just chasing that number. I mean, for me, that number, anything over like 30, even in a cannabis flower, kind of caused me anxiety. I don't, them stronger ones, I like, I enjoy the high, but for most 9 times out of 10, it's so racy that I'm not enjoying it as much as I would something a little bit lower with a better terp profile. And that's the other thing. You seem to lose a lot of the terps when you get over there. It's just like that, whatever they're growing with. It's usually kind of gassy, but again, it's probably newts what you're smelling more over than that.
It's funny, you have
It's just,
different types of trichomes. Like if you get into the microscope at all, not only can you kind of, look at your soil or look at your vermicompost, but looking at the trichome heads, the difference in trichome, I mean, like this alien orange, it's got these stellatic, they're called stellates, and they're like this funky, they're just stars, like basically all these individual trichomes shooting out from a center uh, drop, basically. It's amazing how it just looks like a star with all these trichomes headed out. The end of which aren't bulbous like a trichome head traditionally on a long trichome head. They're all spiked, but it's really kind of amazing to look at the different trikes and how different some are. Like the cookies Kush, this last variety, I got really short trike heads, but it's kick ass. I mean, it's definitely fire. It definitely stunk. But yeah, it just had really short, so probably won't wash very well, but it it's still got that, it's got so much gas that and yet some of the bro science would say that those short trichome heads, that's not as strong or whatever. It's crazy. I think maybe processing, there might be a little difference that people, they like the taller trikes, easier to wash off versus the smaller trikes. But I don't, just cool to see the different ways that they show trikes. I mean, out of these varieties, I'm still basically, with the microscope and doing this. This has been a project just for the last year, and basically the last 6 months, my kid just really took off with a microscope. So that's why I kind of been embracing him. So I ordered, an indoor warm kit for him, and kind of I'm nurturing the farmer in him, for sure. He's definitely in the grow. He's not very interested. I think my youngest is definitely a little shameful of, like because we do a lot of work online. He was afraid that he saw this ganja growah profile for Zoom, and he was worried that I was gonna log on to the Zoom meetings with the teachers on this. So I'm like, but I had to talk just to say, listen, it's legal. It's
just so he knows it resets. It resets when whoever logs on tomorrow. That name will be back to the account holder.
Yeah, no, he's got his own technology, but yeah, he's definitely conscious of that kind of stuff. But I think, he's definitely into the bugs and into the soil. Really into the micro.
It's kind of funny you bring that up because I was just thinking as you were talking. Actually, I'm actually scraping up a dab to put in this fucking joint. I don't feel like taking the dab, so I'm just gonna throw some of this shit. If you wonder what the fuck I'm doing over here, buddy, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to fucking make me a nice little fucking worm. I was sitting here listening to you talk, man, because I'm like bummed because I get to know, you know what I mean, ganja grower, right? Because and I feel like you're almost like cheating everybody here because everybody else knows you all the great information as somebody else, and they're getting, they're not getting to match up. You know what I mean? How it's not working out usually how it usually does. But trust me, ganja grower is somebody that you usually see in chat under a different name, who is usually dropping us some great knowledge. But because of the honor of showing the face, he decided to go with ganja grower tonight. And I respect that. I respect that. But I'm just a little bummed out that the great people that we're hanging out with, and we do hang out with nightly, you know what I mean, that don't get to make the connection. Actually, I told Lexi, because she was very much, she enjoys talking to you in chat. She's told me more than once she enjoys the banner and chat with you. And she was like, she come on when the show messed up, she says, well, what happened? I thought you had him on. And I'm like, well, that is him. She's like, that's not what it says. I like that. I know that's what it says, but trust me, that's who you think it is. She's like, oh, okay. So, I outed you with her there, ganja grower, but nobody else. No. She was looking forward to who was, you know what I'm getting at here, brother. You know what I'm getting at. But I just feel like Chad's getting bummed out a little bit. But trust me, this is somebody we know and love from Chad all the time. You might not know him as ganja grower, but
you can name it out in the chat. I don't mind. I just
I can type it in chat.
Yeah. I just don't want it searchable.
Okay. All right. Let me get to it'd be easier if I just click the fucking mouse over here instead of trying to do it on my phone.
Sorry, I should have typed it in myself. I can't even focus on.
There we go. Now they know. Yeah, just fucking, I want you to get that cred that everybody knows you as, you know what I mean? Or I hope to give you the cred that, because you dropped so much great knowledge in the chats. It's a bummer that, see? Yeah, there it is. Now everybody's like, okay, now we know. We recognize him now. Yeah, see?
Sorry, guys.
All night long, they've probably been like, "Who in the hell is this guy?" Because I was guilty, and I was following you, brother. I was following you, but I seen after I looked on Zoom today, and I seen the name, and I'm like, "Huh." So I went through my Instagram and pulled it up, and I'm like, "Okay, I did not know. Okay, this all makes sense." So I had already figured it out when you shot me the message today. It said this is A and B. I was like, okay, I got it. But yeah, this is one of the great guy that's always dropping us some great info there. Nice. I hope you don't mind, but. Like I said, I'm sure everybody's probably enjoying it all the more better now. They're like, okay, yeah, cool.
I should have been up on chat, but I'm terrible with that kind of stuff. But yeah, I just little kids, and
It's respectable. I'm sure everybody fucking honors that, brother. Everybody honors that. Don't you worry. That's fucking not nothing there. I just said, it's like I said, it's just a bummer because we respect the other name. We see it so much. You know what I mean? And you should be able to have the honor of putting the face with at least letting. I'm glad you let at least let the people in the know. You know what I mean? But I appreciate that. I really do. See, 420. What 420 was like? Who is this guy? But no. I wonder how many DMs I'm gonna get tomorrow about that shit. There you go. Like, wait a minute, because I kind of announced on the show a couple of times you were gonna be on, and then so I wonder how many DMs I'm gonna get tomorrow with the what's the deal with the switch out, man? Did he cancel out on you, man? Did he cancel? Now I have to be like, no. I'm just messing with you, buddy. I'm just messing with you. It's late. We're talking shit now.
No, I'm sorry. I should have probably just, when I shot you back that email last week, but honestly, the Zoom in itself, just figuring that whole thing out on this computer versus using a headset. I'm not the best at the technology. More on the back end side. I can do the IFTT and the Arduino little boards, but I'm not a Zoom guy. I'm not even a, I mean, my the YouTube log on, yeah, I have the two and I never really separated, and it really just, yeah, I don't know. It's just still kind of a pain in the ass just to deal with. There's still a whole element of society that doesn't really, the stoner stereotype is real. So best for them not to know where you are.
I agree. I agree. I'm still fucking confused on how much I should be divulging and shouldn't divulge. I'm fully legal and fully licensed for what I do, but there's still, a security issue there. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's the
And
whole
it's
thing
hard.
with IFTT is just having, you basically, I mean, those little cameras, like the Wise is fully IFTT compliant or capable to basically, alert you, basically do everything for you, as long as you've got power and internet. So you can
Oh,
even
the
have,
Wise cameras, they even have the facial recognition, which I think is pretty damn cool. I mean, if you like, if you just got that one shady cat hanging around, just all right there, that guy. That's for the price point, man. That's pretty cool.
amazing technology for 25 bucks.
I know, man. I have been patiently waiting for Jimmy Craig Seeds to fucking come rolling by, so I could announce this good fortune for him. He has not come rolling by all night long. But he's going to be pleased to know he did one. How I wish we lived. I wish we could have some kind of fucking policy like that. You know what I mean? Where we could just like I could just mail you some fucking good ass blood, no questions asked. He said they have like special envelopes and everything for it. They fully know what it is and shit. It's just a different envelope, different. How cool would that be? I would be willing to. Who cares? That would be fucking super cool. Unless you were like at the post office like every day. Armful of packages and shit. You're getting to be excessive with this, sir. I got a lot of friends. Got a lot of friends. But what a cool system though, man.
I buy a ton of
Oh,
these things, the cheapo soil probes. You can buy them in four packs. Um, just because I break them all the time. Because with Nectar for the Gods, you're always doing a soil drench instead of you don't care about runoff, you care about what's in the zone. So you're testing the soil in the zone. So I usually take like 2 ounces of soil and 2 ounces of water and then slurry it and then test it. I break them. So for $10 each, and then I take the cases and I'll use those to mail my hemp to friends. Nice. If it fits the chips, you can do 3 of them across. If it fits your chips, it's like 535. And without even compressing any of the nugs, it gets there intact because these cases are pretty nice. They got it's pretty good case, the plastic case that goes around this. I don't have anymore because I just mailed some out. But But yeah, so I can get them like 28 grams, 27 grams, in 3 of these cases in a ep36 chips envelope for 5.35, I think it is, or 5.95, under $6. Pretty pretty cool. I don't think they care. We need to keep the post office going.
You wouldn't think they care, but man, I have picked up some fucking shady packages from. So I can talk about it now. He's dead, I guess. I have fucking. I love that man dearly, dearly, dearly. But
Oh no.
that fucker has sent me some fucking packages that one time he sent me fucking a box that outright said some cool seeds on it. Just fucking big, big old fucking box. There was actually one corner of it that it looked like somebody punched a hole and their thumb through it and like peeked in it. And oh god, it was just packs and packs of seeds. I'm like, dude, come on.
That's
Any, well, I mean, smaller packages that like he would send me like testers and stuff. You know what I mean? 10 packs or something like that. He'd put me a fucking nice little package with a vanilla envelope, and it'd say legendary beads. He send me fucking 500 packs of fucking seeds, and he'd fucking say some cool as the dank seeds on it, and be like, "Come on, man." And you know what's fucking funny about this is I live in the fucking middle of nowhere in Forest. I think I kind of told you that. And my mailbox is no shit, like a mile and a half from my house, okay? And even at that, it's just a fucking mailbox out on this main road. And nothing fits in that bitch except the slip. So anything that's shipped to me, I have to walk right into the fucking post office and hand them the slip. I don't even get the fucking shit. Getting pulling it from the box. I gotta walk in there and fucking right out. Here you go. That shit's all mine right here. Get the camera right here. So yeah, every box that he ever sent me, I had to fucking go get that shit right from the fucking post office. I was like, you gotta work on your packaging, bro. You gotta work on your packaging. You're killing me. I remember the first fucking box I ever got was fucking. I told him, I said, man, is it fucking so wrong right now that I just fucking. I've practically got a woody going through the bottom of this box right now because I knew I had just lifetimes of fucking seeds in my fucking lap and shit. I'm like, this is pretty good feeling right here. It's a pretty good feeling. Yeah, crazy old sub story. He's it's great to see that I'm not the only one that misses that cat either, because I noticed a lot lately. People have been posting up old pics. Farmer Father Mike and a lot of great people have been posting up pics, and I love seeing that shit. He was a cool dude. He was a real cool dude. He's really missed. I mean, talk about somebody that just laid everything out there. People talk about just a little bit of time I put out here every night. Man, that dude right there was full time, lived it every day, all day. He gave it his. I, in some parts, think. I don't think. I know that last bus there did him in. I mean, he knew he was in trouble over the other stuff, but when they came in the last time, uh, and threatened him with not being able to be the weed nerd anymore, not being that's what the worst part of it was here he is, 59 years old. He's been the weed nerd his whole life, and he's tattooed across the knuckles with it. You know what I mean? Weed nerd right across the knuckles. So you're that invested into this persona, and after what 30 some years, all of a sudden now you can't be that person anymore. You can't even grow the plant. You know what a crushing blow to a plant or something you've dedicated your whole life to. It was really tough on it. It was really tough, but it does my heart good to see that there's so many great people out there still holding up the memory of it. And like last night, I'm pretty sure you were in chat last night. Fucking Star Delta 9 was in chat, who I know was another close friend of Subs, and she was talking about whether or not she should pop those beans, those last gifts. And my question was, my answer was immediately was, yeah, why, yeah. I mean, you could hold on to them forever and remember, and you can hold on to that pack forever. You know what I mean? The carcass there, the wrapping. That's all you need for the momentum. But to fully honor that memory, I would believe to do it right would be to plant them damn seeds and cultivate them and then spread as many of them fucking clones out as possible. Because them packs might only have 5-10 seeds in them, but man, that female plant could produce hundreds and hundreds of clones and touch so many lives. And I can't think of a better way to honor his memory and the strain to other than to pop them beans and to get them out there and spread them. I've said that myself here. I'm sitting on, well, I gave away a lot, 420. I gave away a lot of his beans, 420. Strains that I didn't want to get away because they're like, that's my personal bank, you know what I mean? But I'm down to probably right around 50 now of dank strains. And that's what my thought on it is. I could be sitting on these as treasures like I always had intended when he was alive, collecting them and stuff. But now that he's passed on, it just makes more sense to me not to even try to like breed them and recreate seeds or the line. That's not even a fucking thought in my mind. It's not. I feel like, just like I stated, I should go through them pack by pack, find good phenols, pass them around, give them good homes to where if I ever want them back, that I know somebody's gonna have them, and just go through them pack by pack and just fucking spread them seeds out, them strains out, fucking get them all out there. I really think that's the best way to honor his memory versus sitting on the fucking case of seeds. And that was on 420. That was I was sitting there thinking about it, and I was like, man, should I be giving these away? Because they do mean a lot to me. You know what I mean? Every one of those beans mean a lot to me. But I thought, man, they could mean so much more, and they'll do, the person that receives them, they'll have that treasure, like I said, that they want them. But then again, they'll have that option of spreading that love out even further. So in the end, I thought it was the right thing to do. Just fucking pass them out. Yeah, Blind Cat, I did go on a little bit of rant there.
No question.
Sorry, Ganja Grotto. I didn't mean to step on your interview either, because that was like fucking 5 to 10 minutes probably right there. Just babbling on well, so got much love for that cat. He helped me out a lot. He really did. The seed game, there's times where a fucking I actually could use that extra cash, and it seemed like every time that I was like in a need for a pinch for some extra cash, that somebody ever called every fucking time and was like, I need 10 packs or whatever, and it all worked out, you know what I mean? And it was definitely a nice, even more than that, it wasn't even about the money for me. I've quoted on saying many times, it was well worth the drive to meet the people on the other end, because there were always so much gratitude on the other end. Even though they were buying the seeds, the gratitude in itself was fucking huge. Just especially like vets, dealing with vets and stuff like that was I would honestly wish I could have just drove around and gave them fucking away for free. I would still, if I ever get into a better position, I think if I could do it, I would do it. You know, just fucking not just give away flour, but just give away seeds so people. That's important to me, man. Is you know, once everybody gets that knowledge, hey, good luck taking it back now. And there's a plant in every household, and it's so easy of a plant to manipulate. There's no reason why everybody that is interested shouldn't be growing their own.
Yeah, I'm growing on the small side, so I basically I'll like this 12 pack that I've got of Rasta Jeff's Double Dragons. I'll just run. I'm running 3 at a time, and just I'll run 3 at a time until I get a good pheno and pass beans on. Once I've got something worth viable, but yeah, I like to always pass it on because people pass it back to you. I don't really take cuts, but I definitely always have a few clones that I'm trying to make for other people to gift to other people. I know that my room only has fungus gnats, and I mean, I'm not concerned about my stuff. I'd be really concerned about bringing stuff in. Come summertime, though, I keep this place pretty sealed and run the AC and keep it pretty dialed in. But um, if you ever open the windows for anything, if you have any problems, if the power goes out, we get thunder and lightning storms, nasty coastal storms, and wind shears. Because I'm a block from the beach. Last year, took down basically a tornado, came right through every big tree. They're all huge beaches, took them all down, and then all the pines towards the ocean. But so we definitely get some nasty weather. So if you ever have to open up your windows, you're indoors, you're outdoor around here. You know, the spores fly in. There's lots of outdoor grows around here. Yeah, and I'm a block from the downtown. So I'll basically um, there's a lot of restaurants and shops downtown. There's 2 theaters. Um, Quaint little seaside town, but it's bustling. But we have our homeless population, so I always will have them rolled when I bike ride everywhere because it's all right here, and I always have them rolled for the regulars that I know that smoke anyways, especially now because I've been kind of looking out because they're really things are barren, and a lot of these people have like schizophrenia and different schizoaffective disorders that, you know, this is very shocking for some of these people that are homeless, you know, head injured in a lot of cases, but the schizophrenic, you know, just all of a sudden around here, the streets are bare. You know, it's kind of crazy. The only people out are the people exercising. So it's those people are really the ones that are kind of struggling where we get the weather. It's not like Florida where, you know, we're still cold at night. Like you. I mean, you're colder than we are for sure.
Shit, brother, I don't even use air conditioning over here. I don't. I up here in the summer, I run my hotter cycle, the HPS at night, and because summer nights up here, 60 degrees, 60 degrees up here in northern Michigan. So I actually pull in like a lung room, a double lung room. I pull in that extra air from outdoors that gets filtered. It goes in the lung room, it gets filtered, and then it gets dumped into here. You know, what would an air conditioner be trying to dump in here? Right around 60 degrees? Why not just be pumping, you know, nice fresh air that's rich CO2, you know, ambient CO2, a fresh supply, and it keeps everything cool in here, you know. Even in the summer months at night, you know, I'm running 78 degrees in here. You know. There's a few freak nights where I might get up to like 82, but that's rare, rare. And I believe the plants, good plant, healthy plants should be able to handle that. You know, if it's good with B vitamins and it's shaking them leaves, man, they should be fine in a little of the you know, little temperature spike like that. It shouldn't harm it at all. think that's a plant health. I can't underline that enough, man. If that plant is just on point, it's doing its own thing against predators and like that. It's ready for stress moments like that. B vitamins in itself, man, are feeding them to the plant help out a lot for stressful times. Transplant. I highly suggest adding a little bit of B vitamin, Super Thrive, or something. Multiple stages through the grow. Sorry, I should be just letting you go here. Keep forgetting cutting you off there, ganja grower.
No worries, man.
No, I like your attitude. I can't believe you don't. So you must be like maybe like between Boston and New York. You don't have that. You definitely don't have the Boston accent.
I didn't park my car in Harvard Yard.
I can get Charlie on here, Charlie's Farm. That guy's definitely got like a Boston fucking Dick. I like the way he says my name too. Eagles.
He's Boston, South Shore Cape, and now he's in 413.
I just like the way he says it. He throws the S on there and everything. Eagles. How you doing tonight? Fucking makes me smile every time he says it, man. Yeah. And you must be just back a little bit, huh? Cause you don't really fucking you don't have either accent actually. You would be a hard one to nail down if you didn't tell me where you were. It'd be hard to nail you down.
Yeah, for oh, am I muted?
You're good.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I've lived here for most of my life. I did, my dad worked early in the circuit board business. Before that, the automated robotic, like the machines that were making shoes, leather soles, American Shoe Company here in Beverly. And then he went and started working for some of those companies that down in Melbourne, Cape Canaveral area. So I did live in Florida, so I had a twang as a 10-year-old. I totally redneck within a year. I don't think we were there for more than 2 years. But when we came back from there, I was talking Southern. But yeah, I mean, I can turn it on and off, I guess. But yeah, and my group of friends, oh my God. Mingya.
Yeah. It's just I dig the whole the draw, the whole it's its own language. It really is the way you guys talk over there in Boston. It's very distinctive. As soon as you hear it, you're like, oh, I know where they live. I know where they live. And there's no other part of the country like that. Even like a southern accent is very vague. You know what I mean? That could be anywhere down south, but a Boston accent, you know exactly where they, you know when you hear it where they're coming from. It's very distinct. Oh man. So you haven't been not smoking? You just had the one tonight? Are you a light smoker? How often do you partake in a day? Let me ask that if you don't mind. Casual,
Not
heavy, medium.
maybe oh geez, maybe I'll smoke. I'm not a daily smoker. Um Actually, I shouldn't say that because I go through points, if my back isn't well, I every day. I use it to manage pain big time. Um, and my back, I've had a couple surgeries and I'm missing a few discs. So yeah, when I have pain, I definitely smoke all the time. But when I don't, and when I'm feeling good, and I don't smoke nearly as much. But maybe like, I mean, in the course of a month, I mean, it's embarrassing actually. You know, I might be, I might go through a quarter a month, um, and
There's nothing wrong with that.
I probably gift them 8 ounces or 6 ounces a month.
You know, I respect anybody that uses, grows, or just anybody that's an advocate in general. You know, supporter of the plant, you're a friend of mine. As long as you ain't that person telling me that, you know, I'm growing the devil's lettuce and all that, you know, cool with me.
I do like the edibles and making the tincture. Just another great way to deal with larf. I just get too lazy. Unless it's a top cola, it's being decarbed, um, sadly, because I just can't find the time to really deal with it. I don't really. I collect my fan leaves for my worms, not for decarbed. I just the popcorn buds that I'm not really looking to trim. I'll just use all that, um, and the cocoa oil. The edibles I do like.
Man, I don't know if I could juice them like Tribal was talking about last night. Your thoughts on that?
That's a
Did
lot
you
of meat.
juice them?
Yeah, I don't think I I haven't tried it. I should. I've been just giving them to my worms. There's so many things and so many. I mean, it's great that everybody's sharing all this knowledge because I've
I've heard
evolved
it.
with grower so
In
quickly because of it.
in all fairness, I've heard it. It isn't good. That's people that were drinking it anyway. I've never really heard of anybody making ice cubes out of it like he did, which was pretty interesting. But I bet you the health benefits are, you know, I bet you them are real. I really believe those results are real. But I don't do it. I'm with you. I'd rather fucking feed them to the worms and make some worm food out of them.
Yeah, that's the key. I mean, that's like the biggest elevation in the grow for the organic guy. Just get yourself worms, and you're halfway there because it just brings in. If you can keep a healthy worm, you're keeping healthy soil. You're going to learn the whole, and you're going to provide. The castings are just phenomenal. You know, I just put a little bit of SLF in them. I feed them too. You know, with different stuff, and the you can powderize eggshells, or buy the worm food. I mean, they for those of you that want to use Amazon, you can buy the worm food. It's basically dried egg and different barleys, oatmeals, that kind of thing. I'm not really sure, but depends on.
Well, I've heard of not just for the worm food, but I've heard of people grounding them up and adding them to your soil just for, I believe it was for calcium.
I bought some to try. So this is Uncle Jim's. Uncle Jim does not sell red wigglers. He says he does. They're all blues. His worm food, I checked that out too. Yeah, it's just it's a little grain and some eggshells, but he's selling this shit for it's all the packaging. It's a pretty bag.
And to name you a well marketed face there.
It was like the same price. I mean, you basically the worms are free when you buy the food, basically. But they are blues, they're not reds, but they still work really well. Especially, the red wigglers. The problem with the blues is they just they don't survive winter. They definitely wouldn't survive a winter where you are. But even here, like unless you have a shed with a little mat in there, or decide to go the lighting route and heat it from above with convection style older light, um, it's just it's tough to do. um, yeah, indoor small, keep it indoor. That's the way I go.
So is the avocado tech, is that basically is that to get the worms to mate? Is that what they're doing there with the avocado tech?
Yeah, so they yeah, I take the seed out because the seed would take forever, and then just I mean, depending upon if you got a pound of worms, you should be able to, the whole thing, you should be able to feed them after, once, when you first get your worms, you got to let them settle for a week or two, get oriented. Don't feed them something so much. But yeah, basically, if you open up the avocados, it's just a swirling. They're all right under there. It's ideal conditions for them, just the bacteria, because they're not really eating the soil, and I don't even know if they're eating the microbes that are eating the avocado. Um, they only eat small cell things. Um, so they're eating all the eggshell, but yeah, so they're basically definitely losing my train of thought. See, this is because I don't stay up this late.
I appreciate it though.
No worries. Oh, I've been staying up this late lately, but it's not. I just smoked.
It's gonna be hard when you go back to work. That's gonna be hard. Switch back.
Yeah, I need new clothes.
Oh no. Yeah, I need to invest in a worm bin. That's one of the things I don't have right now, but I'd like to get one. Slowly getting there, but as you get more and more people on and hear them talk and stuff, things I've heard before, sounded good, but now that I get more and more people on here and hearing more and more stuff, they like, man, have I really been set my way that long? You know what I mean? I love what I do. I'm happy with my results, but man, should we mixing it up a little bit more?
It's not a composting solution, so you definitely you're not going to be able to process a lot of food scraps and keep them indoors unless you're willing to devote some space to it. But on the small side, you can definitely get some good castings. Outdoor gardens, though, can really benefit too. If you can keep warm over winter, the worms, that's great because your colony. Uh, or bring your worms inside, and if you got a
I
garage,
actually
or
think about like doing a bed with them in there, just throwing something in an organic bed. I think that's the next evolve there is put just like a 4x4 tent and maybe try to do an organic bed one run. I've done like a super soil system at a few points in my grow career. In fact, I was doing it like 2 years ago and then kind of got ahead of the game because of perpetual harvest. Uh, got to a point where I got into my hot batch and then things just kind of like spiraling out of control. So I went back to, just like a quarterback, man. I doubled back to a play that I knew very well, which was cocoa and salts, and ran with that. And I've been doing that ever since. But, now I'm ready to evolve a little bit more. And instead of like a super soil system, I've been reading up on like an organic type bed, living soil. thinking about doing a 4x4 of living soil, and after a run or two of that, I may be sold on that. Maybe I'll do another 4x4 or something like that. But, until then, it's all cocoa. But I'm definitely got the itch right now. A few books in, watching a few more shows. Definitely, I'm leaning towards putting one foot in, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's a goal for me too. I mean, that's definitely the same, here as I'd love to incorporate the worms into my soil. There's so many benefits to really going to that fully organic, starting with a fully charged soil that only needs water. I don't know. Some people like that sips, which I just, that kind of, I think you're asking for trouble. I think maybe I'm not that great at that. You're a hydro guy, so you've got that shit dialed in. You're running a Corvette versus that organic. I I guess for me it's just more the bugs, because when you bring the worms in, then now you're going to go for a full spectrum rhizosphere, and you're kind of looking for a bacterial dominant soil. If you really want to make that network and kind of take it to that level, the worms are, after being in there for a year, and if you don't disturb that after a year, the no-till indoor, you really kind of do have to get a little scientific about it, because like you say, you add a little bit of molasses, that's E. coli is, I mean, just add sugar. That's all you need for that to breed. So yeah, and E. coli is everywhere, and not all of them are bad for humans, but as a symbiotic player in the bacterial world in the soil, they're not one of them on any measure, any of them. Getting there slowly.
Man, you've been a trooper hanging in there, man. What, almost 4-hour episode, even through the stumbles, man. I can't believe that. And YouTube likes to play with me once in a while. But I believe I'm gonna hang it in. Yeah, it's 3:20. I got my appointment at 11:30 over there on the other side of town. But we'd be honored if you'd be, one of these nights while you're off, man. You're more than welcome to jump in now. It's usually how I'm rolling with it. I've had a couple of people that wanted to jump in on the after chats, early. I'm like, well, shit, man, I don't want to get you on now. It's funny. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I was listening to Tom Green and Joe Rogan talk about this a little bit the other day. And I thought, man, it's kind of funny because I do that in my own way all the fucking time. But this is moreover just the same. It's the same thing, but just a little deeper. If I call people out that are wanting to come on that haven't been on already, you know what I mean, for the later sesh, then fucking I'm tapping into their show. You know what I mean? They could be telling me shit that, if I get them on later, well, I could have had a 2-hour episode, but now I've just kind of, or it seems kind of stupid because we both know that, the information, you've already told me this once on a fucking previous episode. So now it seems to be a little less, real pace to it. So I don't like to, but now that you've been on, more than welcome. If you're up and there's an open sesh, you're more than welcome to jump in. But I thought it was funny because they were talking the exact same thing on the show that they have done that not only on that show, but they've done it on prior shows, to where they would started talking in the hallway and they'd be like, save it for the interview, you know what I mean? So they were just sitting there kind of not saying each other in the hallway, just kind of smoking cigarettes, kind of saving all the conversation for the show. But it's the same point, really. I don't want to burn up all the good conversation that I could have. on your spotlight, having somebody on, early. So now that you've been on, you know, later at night, you see somebody that knocked out a little bit earlier, whatever, you're more than welcome to jump in and drop some good light knowledge, whatever you want to drop with us, whatever we're talking, or if you just want to hang out and smoke one and talk that shit with us, like sometimes we do, you're more than welcome to hang out and participate in them chats too now as well. You know, it's kind of like a, oh, no, I don't want to say it's like a club, but you got to come in one by one before you can get to that after chat. Like I said, I'm glad that you were able to kind of out yourself a little bit in chat, but it would have been nice to you could have just had it showing all night to everybody, because it ain't just people that are watching or tonight or hang out in this channel, but you know how these cannabis community works. We know each other from different shows: Bracing Organics, Michigan Bros Grow Show, Cheap Home Grow Show. We all see each other in these chats, and it's nice to be able to get out there. This is the closest thing we're gonna get right now to a fucking high times event and being able to smoke with each other. So I appreciate you coming on, hanging out, dropping some knowledge, showing your grow, and on top of the knowledge that you're constantly throwing out there in chat. I love you and the Jack Greensock. He's my cannabis badass. He's like the go-to for everybody. Honestly, I really feel that way, because he can be in like any show, and like the show could be stumbling for a fact or whatever, and they'd be like, Jack, what do we got there? And Jack's like right there on it. And it's awesome. I wish I could have that kind of a sponge for that kind of knowledge, but man, it's just not there anymore, man. Fucking, I'm one of the people that gotta write things down and shit. But not him, man. That fucker, and I say that in a good way too. If you ever hear me say that, that guy is like a magnet, man. He can just tell you whatever you need to know as fast as you need to know it. Gotta respect them guys. I respect him a lot.
You gotta love like a guy like Spartan too, where a guy that wasn't into growing got into it through a love of a plant, and basically kind of just elevated the grow real quick. There's so many stories like that, and in your community with Michigan Grows Grow Show and the whole Michigan cannabis community in general, not to mention Talking Shit with Eagle. But you guys have all stuck it out there together and respected and worked together, and you guys just
that's one of the biggest things people. I've got. I'm gonna totally out Jack right here. I'm gonna fucking totally out this cat. But that's one of the other layers of respect I have for this guy, is not just the knowledge, but he's like he has his own thing going. He's on his own show and he's pushing his own shit. He could have been one of those guys that we was like, hey, get the fuck out of here, man. There's plenty of us around, you know what I mean? And just kind of did whatever he could do to push back and whatever against the show. But it wasn't in Jack's character like that. He was very quick to come on and support the show. He was very quick to come on the show. And by the way, Jack, I see you in chat. You're listening. I haven't got that spotlight issue with you. You jumped on the after show one night and added on to a great episode. But I haven't got your spotlight episode, dude. I want that spotlight. Anyways, he was quick to help me out in other ways, point me out in lessons in podcasting, and he was like, hey man, maybe you should, go at it this way. Here's another tip, you know what I mean? So he was supportive and not just, being there, hanging out and chat and shouting out the show graciously on his program several times. But he was giving advice on how to do the show behind the scenes. And for me, that's huge. It takes a big person to help somebody into exactly what you're doing. Most people would see that kind of maybe as a threat and not want to help. You don't get me wrong. I've received a lot of help from everybody in the community, but I'm just saying, him in particular, you know, he gave an extra push and pointed me in all the right directions. Here's podcasts to look at and reference, and you know, here's how you can smooth this out. And he gave tons of great advice. Not just cannabis advice. He's gave me a lot of great advice all around, and that's, you know, I've got one people in particular. I've got much love for Jack Greenstock right there. That dude's straight up good, all around good people right there. So just I can't give that guy enough props, man. Sorry, I cut you off again. And I just sorry. It's late.
And he's such a selfless person in the cannabis community with his time for so many different people. I mean, I know that he likes a lot of people's stuff, but he actually is active with a lot of people, big and small, in dialogue. So we really got to appreciate people that they take such a passion for the plant and can teach us all so much about the plant, and we can all evolve, because the more communal we take the science, or the more we all grow together, the quick, so many more happy grows, especially for the new growers.
I know we need more Jacks, that's for sure. That's for sure. Let's props to that guy. That's props to that guy. And he's just fucking such full of good information too. Nothing but props for him. Just getting married. Okay. Not that I can't go on enough about this guy, but this is how dedicated to this plant this guy is. He actually got married at 420. Married at 420. And on 420, I asked him, like, not knowing that he was getting married on 420, to be on the 420, because I have tons of respect for him. He's like, no, man, I'm getting married. I'm going to be on honeymoon that weekend. I'm like, that's fucking, more than the excuse. That's huge. Congratulations, brother. And then he ended up getting married on 420, which was huge. And then he watched on 420. He was in the chat on the show. He was like, she's sleeping right now. I can watch for a couple minutes. And I'm like, dude, hang that thing up, man. You're on your honeymoon. You can get yourself in trouble. But that's how much love he has for this fucking plant and community and everything. He just, even on his honeymoon, he couldn't put it down. Pretty impressive.
Women can't live with them. Pass the beer nuts.
Very true. Very true. God damn it. I got to get going, buddy. Thank you very much, Ganja Grower. Like I said, come back anytime you feel fit. Chat's open to you. After sessions open to you. And hopefully we can do this again sometime again soon without, the many, we have 3 interrupts tonight. I'm not even know, because I got to go back and put titles on them, because I was just like a quick click trying to get back on the air. So I got to go back and retitle the 3 mess ups there. 1, 2, and 3. What the fuck, YouTube? Part 2. Please watch part 3. But a lot of them came back, man. Hats off to everybody that came back and toughed it out through the ups and downs of tonight. He definitely deserved a solid episode. I definitely owe you a redo for sure. I'm sorry that for all the interruptions tonight.
I really appreciate the show, Eagle. You're doing a great thing over here. Just keep growing. I'm here in chat. I don't have a lot of time to do this kind of thing, but I really appreciate you guys, and all the knowledge is being dropped, and just it's snowballing, baby.
this.
We're all growing with it.
You want to give yourself a shout out where people, I don't know, obviously look for him on Instagram as ganja grower. You can at least do that, build up some subs that way. But is anybody that you want to give a shout out to on top of that? Anybody thing you want to say while you're on camera before you go?
No,
I know it's on the spot, it's late, it's always hard to do, but you never know. There might have been that one person right off the shot there. There probably will be too. As soon as you get off, you'll be like, God damn it, that one person. It's all good. There's always a next time, right? I've already made that more clear. There's always a next time. But you have a great night. I appreciate you staying up so late with me. And I'll see you in chat hopefully tomorrow. Oh, and by the way, I'll let you go, and I'm going to ramble. I'm just going to make sure that the winner knows who the winner is, just in case he popped in. Say goodnight to everybody. But thank you again for tuning in or joining me tonight. You know, it's been great for me. You know, I love these nights where I get to meet you guys one by one. This is fucking awesome. It's a huge honor for me. It really is. You guys say thank you, whatever, but I need to be thanking you guys for real. Thank you. You have a great tomorrow. See you tomorrow night, hopefully. Ganja growah, kicking you out. Have a good night, brother. Oh, God, it was a good night. I hope all you guys were patient with the YouTube mess ups tonight. I do appreciate all you guys, especially you, Jack. Fucking pretty awesome. T1. Oh, before I forget, I've tried to say it all through these fucking episodes. But if you are watching this or know this person, Jimmy Crack Seeds won the Canada contest. Please get a hold of Tribal Gardens for your prize. Jimmy Crack Seeds won last night's contest. I would most definitely claim that shit because, yeah, I would claim that shit. Either way, we'll have fun stuff coming up. I know there's a couple people doing some giveaways this week, some beans, and it's gonna be a cool night, cool week. Got some cool stuff coming ahead. Not to mention Quino's Genetics will be here tomorrow. Now I'm thinking of it. We'll be here tomorrow night, dumping their knowledge and their fun stories and good times with us tomorrow. God, I can't wait for that. Run through and give everybody their goodbyes because I like that part. Go Canada. I know, and I wish we could do this same mailing system there. Good night, Jack. 420, 420, Mr. Green Pottsler, How Treeling. That's kind of a new name. Thank you fucking for joining me tonight. Johnny Canna Seeds. I'm sorry for that mix up earlier, but glad to know you're in Las Vegas and you kind of disqualified yourself being in the U.S., as we all did. What a bummer. Or not all, but a lot of us. Thank you, Quino's. Looking forward so much to talking to you tomorrow night. T1, JD's, thank you so much for tuning in. Smoke and Grow Fraser, man, thank you so much, man. You tune in every night. There's a reason why you got that wrench. I appreciate your dedication, brother. Who else we got here? It's going to be hard to thank everybody because of all the mess ups. Everybody won't get their credit. Lexi, Natty Dread 1, thank you for joining in tonight. Let's see here. I think I might have got everybody from this round. Part 3 of the show tonight. Chef Life 420. What's going on? Kelly Life. course, my daughter Lexi Koo, who was in chat tonight as well. I'm just waiting by. I think Josh Warrior. That's a new one by me. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Enough with the babbling. I really wish I could just like put everybody's name and shut it and cross the screen here as the credits because you guys deserve all the credits. You guys have a great night. Random acts of kindness. Do save lives. Do something nice for somebody. I truly believe that shit. It's not something I just say every night. I really, really believe that shit. You know, more of us at least try it and convince ourselves. The act itself will convince you. And then, like I've said every night, it doesn't have to be nothing big. It can be something as simple as open the door for somebody, and it will open the door in your mind. And if the more of us that do that, won't it be a better place? Won't it be a better place? I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Have an amazing tomorrow. Good night.